Hi everybody, Kim here. It's been a long time since I did a video update. I tried to do it yesterday, but there were so many air raid sirens and we had a few things we had to get in town, but like every time we would get ready to go, another one would start. Then I'd be like, I'll do the video update while we wait for it to end. And then it would end and I'd be like, okay, let's go. And then it would start again. Finally, today is Saturday and I'm doing a video update. We're okay. Boys are doing well. I don't know if all of you know that I'm an RN. I worked at a hospital in Oregon in post-surgical and then on pediatrics for, I don't know, close to 15 years before we moved here to Ukraine. I've kept my license up throughout the years, providing care for our boys. And now I'm really diving into it more heavily because Yaroslav and Vova, the two guys that we brought from the institution straight to Germany, their health is a lot more fragile than the other guys that we have in our guardianship. I mean, Anton, Ruslan, Boris, Vlad, like they have their issues, but they're like more or less healthy. I mean, it's very rare that we have to take them to the doctor for things. I mean, Antoine with his Williams syndrome has some heart issues, but he takes a med every day and it's once a year to a cardiologist. Sasha does have epilepsy, which he's had more seizure activity lately. It started in Germany. I think it's because he's growing a lot and we need to work with his dosing on his medication a bit. But otherwise, like our guys are basically healthy. It's more the emotional trauma that manifests itself physically. But Yaroslav and Vova, their health is just a lot more fragile. I've written in the newsletter about Vova with his diagnosis of PKU. Yaroslav also is diagnosed with epilepsy, but he has a lot of gut issues as well. And anyway, right now in this season of work, I'm really devoting myself to being more organized with the healthcare of our guys, just really dialing in on their health. I don't want to make it sound like I've neglected it in the past. It's just with Yaroslav and Vova, it requires a lot more from me. And so I'm taking that opportunity to kind of just be more organized and more like methodical, systematic with the rest of our guys. I mean, the more boys we have, the less it's just like a mom managing her kids' health and more like, okay, I got to put my nurse cap on now and really like find a way to systemize this so that as we grow, I'm already ahead of the curve. So I've been working a lot on that. We've just been as a team slowly, getting back into our rhythm, adding in more of the activities and things that we were doing before the war started and trying to figure out what is possible for us to do in this time of war, what is necessary, what was just extra, but like we don't really need that right now. Our friend Maxime, who has special needs, he lives alone with his mom, Valya. She's quite elderly. The dad was also not well. Well, he was not well at all. And he actually passed away in July or maybe the beginning of August. So it's just Valya and Maxime alone. And I've shared before that Jed has shared guardianship of Maxime with Valya so that when the time comes that she's not able to care for him anymore or when she eventually will pass away, then Maxime will automatically become ours, part of our family, just as a safety net for him, which Valya asked of us many years ago. And so it's really important to keep up that relationship with Maxime and Valya so we can keep tabs on how she's doing, how's her health, but also he needs to be so comfortable here so that when the time comes for him, when he doesn't have his mom anymore, that this transition will be as smooth as it could possibly be. Obviously, it will be terrible and sad and huge no matter what, but if he never spends time with us, it's going to be a lot harder. So we've started bringing him here twice a week just to spend the day here with the boys and the assistants in the duplex, and I feel like that's really important right now. Valya needs our support more than ever. And then we're also right now just working to bring celebration back into our community. Celebration and parties has always been something really important to us. I mean, it got to the point where there were so many parties all the time, it was a little exhausting. So we're trying to figure out what's a good balance of celebration and keeping our sanity. So a couple of girls from our team, they planned out, 2 celebrations a month from now until the new year. It's just important, especially during this time of war, that we celebrate and we take time to enjoy each other, to celebrate the things that God has given us, and just to, our guys need that celebration, and we need it too. So bringing that back into our lives, we've been going to Romanyev once a week and just starting to, again, work with the staff there, reintegrate ourselves into that community life. The director of Romanyev and the doctor of Romanyev both died this past summer. So we have a new director, but he's actually the old director's son. So we already knew him. We have a relationship with him. So I feel really positive about that. Just being a loving, safe presence to our boys there and figuring out what our role is supposed to be there right now. But definitely we're there as a team, 4 or 5 people every Thursday. Now for the elephant in the room, the war. I don't know if you follow the news anymore, but it is really ramped up. In the beginning of September, Ukraine had a really amazing, quick, super successful counteroffensive, pushed back the Russians a lot. And since then, Putin has ordered a partial mobilization of Russian troops and then has also threatened nuclear warfare. So I think everybody is like afraid that he's so crazy that he could literally do anything. Yeah, that has been definitely like a new level of tension here. I mean, I think everybody was kind of like just feeling like, at least in our little area of the world, just feeling kind of like, yes, there's that background tension of war every day in our lives, but it wasn't like so upfront and personal for a few weeks there, but now it definitely has ramped up again. You know, I hear of Ukrainians writing like, you know, it doesn't matter what Russia does, like, we're not afraid, like, they're trying to terrorize us, but it's not working. And I'm like, who are you people who are writing this? Maybe they're Ukrainians who aren't living in Ukraine, but like everybody I know here, like, how can we not have fear of this? I mean, I think you'd have to be living under a rock or be completely oblivious or have no one in your life that you care about to say right now that you're not afraid or that like that this isn't concerning. I mean, it's great and brave to say, we're not afraid, you're not going to scare us. But like, I have children and I have a lot of people that I love. And no, when someone threatens you with a very real threat of nuclear warfare, no, it's scary. And I don't think it's a sign of weakness to say that that is scary. So right now, like our response right now is just to, you know, keep our supplies handy for if we need to hunker down again in case of actual nuclear attack. And we're searching for iodine. We have some, but not enough. There's a recommendation that if there is a nuclear strike, that everybody takes iodine, and so iodine pills. So we're trying to make sure we have enough of those for however many people happen to be here at the time. There could be up to 40 people here at any given time. We're counting the number of gas masks that we have here. We have a chat of a couple friends here, and it was one of them wrote kind of like seriously, but also it almost came across as funny. Like, I can't believe this is our life. But she wrote, hey guys, like if there's a nuclear strike, like please text me at any time and make sure I know, because I'm like paranoid that everybody's going to know when I'm not going to know. And like, yes, we all promise to text each other in case there's like, we're hit by nuclear weapons. I mean, you kind of almost have to laugh or you're going to cry, but like, that's our reality. Yesterday, there were, like I mentioned, there were so many air raid sirens and our kids were at school. I mean, they sat in the bomb shelter for, I mean, half of their school day. They were just in and out, up and down the stairs in that bomb shelter. No, it's very real here. It's not just an idea. It's not a movie. It's not a book. It's very real. And it's hard to know how concerned we should be. I mean, it's not like we sit, like I lay awake at night, like afraid, like I sleep really well. We're blessed that we're in an area that, yeah, there's air raid sirens just about every day, but we haven't been struck in a very long time. And it is weirdly life as usual when you go to town. I know there's so many cities in Ukraine where they're completely decimated or people are hiding in their homes. I mean, it's not anywhere close to life as usual. It's like an apocalypse. So I'm speaking from a fairly peaceful place in Ukraine. But, we do have the threat of Belarus right above us, and I think that's really concerning. That's just a couple hours from us. I wrote a blog post right around the time of September 11th. There was talk about how, President Biden doesn't want to call Russia a terrorist state or a state sponsor of terrorism. And I just thought about how, in the US, how devastating it was on 9/11 and how people still look back on that one day as such a monumental day that marked fear and tragedy. And yeah, it was super tragic. I remember exactly where I was when all of that was happening. And I think a lot of people, so many things changed with air travel and all of that. There was definitely a before and an after of 9/11. But guys, here it's 9/11 every single day. It's been 9/11 every single day since February 24th. And I know there's all the political games involved with not calling Russia a state sponsor of terrorism, but if complete decimation of cities isn't terrorism, I don't know what is. This is our home. This is where we need to be. But I just wanted you to know how it feels here right now. It definitely feels like people are afraid. It feels like Russia is trying to terrorize people, and that it's working. It's just really amping up right now. And I don't know how much news you're getting in other parts of the world, but I wanted you to know how it is here. We're safe. Like I said, we're blessed to be safe here in our little corner of Ukraine. But the war isn't over. It's not even close to being over. And I just would ask you to keep praying, keep doing what you can do to support Ukrainians, to elevate Ukrainian voices, to read Ukrainian news. There's so much Russian propaganda, even in Western media. Amplify Ukrainian voices. Pray for Ukraine. Please don't forget Ukraine. I'm begging you, as someone who lives in Ukraine, to please not forget Ukraine and to pray for our swift victory over Russia, a terrorist state.